We light this candle for all God's prophets, confronting justice and restoring the dream of a world of freedom and peace. As we wait for the divine promise to give us light, to give us hope, a candle burns, the second marker of our Advent journey. As we continue, may we travel faithfully. As we continue, may we know that the God within speaks to us. A candle burns, the second mark of our Advent journey. We need light. The days are terrifyingly short. The chill in the air catches our breath. The ground is barren and the landscape bleak. We need light. Demeter and Persephone, Mary and the baby, a rising star to follow. Stories bearing witness to our yearning. We need light. Hanukkah, Diwali, we need light. A light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not, will not, has not, cannot overcome or even comprehend light.
Save that our heart, The reading today is from Luke chapter 3, verses 1 to 6. The report about John, the son of Zechariah, began while Tiberius Caesar was ruling the Roman world. He ruled it for almost 15 years. Pontius Pilate was ruling the country called Judea, and Herod was ruling the land called Galilee. Philip was the brother of Herod. He was ruling the countries called Iturea and Trachonitis. Lysanias was ruling Abilene. While these men were ruling, the most important priests were Annas and Caiaphas. At that time, John, the son of Zechariah, was living in the desert. He heard God speak to him. John traveled to many places near the river Jordan. "You are doing many bad things," he taught everybody. "Stop doing them. You should be sorry for what you've done. If you are, I will baptize you with water, and God will then forgive you." John was teaching as Isaiah had spoken a long time before. God gave him messages. Someone wrote down these messages in a book. Isaiah told people what would happen. He said, "People will hear someone who is shouting in the desert, 'The Lord is coming. Make the road ready for him. Make it straight. Fill in every valley and make every mountain and hill flat. Take away every curve so that the road is straight. Take away all the rocks so that the road is flat. Then you will see how God will save you."
Of the Lord, the Holy One is here. Come bow before him now, with reverence and with fear. In him no sin is found. We stand on holy ground. Be still for the presence of the Lord, the Holy One is here. Be still, for the glory of the Lord is shining all around. He burns with holy fire, with splendor he is crowned.
As I've been preparing for the service this week and looking at the readings and their messages about and from prophets, I've been wondering about the origin of the phrase wise guy, which might reasonably have been used of John the Baptist. So I don't think it started with the Three Stooges. It's an underground crime term, apparently, the world of gangsters and wise guys. Al Pacino, in the film Donnie Brasco, said, "A wise guy is always right. Even when he's wrong, he's right." This got me thinking. We all have an inner wise guy, a mischievous voice that pushes us out of the comfort zone, with its biting humour, disarming questions, slap to the forehead, street wisdom, and trickster pranks. The inner wise guy is right even when it's wrong, even when it's inconvenient, unpopular, nonconformist. It's like the two fish swimming together who meet another fish heading the other way. The fish nods at them and says, "Morning, boys, how's the water?" The two fish swim on for a bit, and then eventually one of them looks over at the other and says, "What the heck is water?" Most of the time we're like the fish, swimming in an ocean of awareness, but it's too close for us to see it for what it is. A well-timed question can make all the difference, stop us in our tracks, make us rethink our purpose, our motivation, our lingering baggage. That's what awareness does so well, asks questions. Why is one of awareness's favourite questions, because the inner wise guy wants to get to the heart of things. Whys make us aware of who we are, what we value. Whys make us aware, and awareness in turn makes us wise. We all know that young children understand this well. Why? But why? But why? But why? Children understand something that we easily forget as adults: the power of why. The why question is so important. It creates a frame for all our whats, whens, wheres, whos and hows. Think about the power of why. If our why is clear, we will find a way. If our why excites us, we will find a how. If our why is clear and excites us, we will solve any what, trust every when, meet all the right whos, find all the right wheres, and overcome any challenging how. But there are two types of why questions. The why that looks for pity, like, why me? And the why that looks for clarity, like, why this? Why now? The first type of why question is fine for a while, as long as we keep asking the why question of our why questions. Why am I asking why me? Awareness is more interested in the second type of why question, because it leads to the big who question. Who am I? And who is it who keeps asking these questions, thinking these thoughts and feeling these feelings? Awareness is all about space, inner spaciousness, zooming in like the Hubble telescope to explore motivation and identity's landscape. We zoom in and see the incredible capacity to watch ourselves, and it helps us see things that are right in front of our noses. Awareness is seeing life from a depth of 30,000 feet, where vision and purpose are so much clearer. Without awareness, we flounder and drift through life like the fish who don't even know they're in water. With awareness, we learn to see the potential and beauty in each moment. Like the fish, we recognise who and where we are now and explore new edges of this reality. There's always more us to discover and become, just as fish never swim in the same water twice. Awareness takes us on a deep dive into oneness. We are one with the one who is aware and sees through our eyes and thinks our thoughts. As the Islamic scholar Rumi said, we aren't a drop in the ocean, we are the entire ocean in a drop, and at this time and place. So, really be there. Is this not exactly what John the Baptist was seeking to do when exhorting his listeners as he emerged from the desert? Wake up and smell the coffee, he might have explained if he'd come over Wideford Hill. Reminding us fish that we have to keep reminding ourselves over and over. This is water. This is water. It's unimaginably hard to do this, to stay conscious and alive in the adult world day in and day out. It's hard, but not impossible. We can start by pausing to feel this very moment, become aware of who we are and who we are becoming. Wake up. This is it. Life is right here and now. Let's make sure we are living it fully. As the writer Eckhart Tolle said, awareness is the greatest agent for change.
Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless His holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul. He rescues me from death.
We light this candle in remembrance and hope, to call to mind Magnus and Ronald and all the saints, and all those dear to us who have gone before, especially those who have died in recent times. And as a sign of hope to future generations as yet unborn, Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless His holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul. He leads me into life.
A prayer. When the world is given time to wait, and it doesn't. When God's people are offered space to hope, and they don't. When the nations are given reason to move towards peace, and they won't. May the Holy One in flesh come to us, in human form and humankind, and live among us and meet us on the way. When the world is given a promise to hear, and it doesn't. When God's people are offered words of transformation, and they don't. When the nations are given the chance of recreation, and they won't. May the Holy One in word come among us in prophecy and promise, and unstop our ears and be the word revealed. When the world is given a light to live by and it doesn't. When God's people are offered a message to proclaim and they don't. When the nations are given a moment to change and they won't. May the Holy One in justice come among us in flesh and in pain, and hold the suffering of the world, making all things new. When the world doesn't hear, and God's people do not understand, and the nations turn their back, may the Holy One come to us, be born in us, in forgiveness and grace, heaven's incarnation, the revelation of truth among us. Amen. May God, the star maker, cradle and circle us. May God, the storyteller, beckon and encourage us. May God, the life changer, challenge us and cherish us. And may we walk in the light of God's love and laughter all the moments of our nights and days. May you stay safe in the way of Christ, and may you be blessed by his Spirit this day and always. Amen.